Hello everybody, my name is Wes Davies and welcome back to another episode. I recently filmed a video discussing my 4-year anniversary of living here in Taiwan. And in that video, I briefly discussed how Taiwan has time and time again been left out of major international health and climate organizations. It's my opinion that the international community is making a grave mistake when choosing to ignore Taiwan in these hugely important matters, and that Taiwan's experience and expertise would be a major boost in our fight against some of these major climate and world health problems. So in this video today, I want to dive a little bit deeper into the fight against climate change and what the international community is doing to help solve these issues. As well, I'll touch on Canada's involvement in these multilateral events and discussions, and I'll also talk about what seems to be holding Taiwan back from participation. So coming up at the end of this month, from October 31st to November 12th, the UN will hold its annual Climate Change Conference, which this year is being held in Glasgow, UK, known as the UNFCCC. It's also called the COP, or Conference of the Parties. This is the 26th iteration of this conference, COP26, and it aims to gather together leaders from countries all over the world and asks them to make a commitment that will lessen their impact on climate change, such as making laws to reduce carbon emissions and making better decisions about green energy production, waste management, and biodiversity maintenance. The Kyoto Accord and the Paris Agreement are both international treaties that were born out of this conference over the years. According to their website, one of the central aims of this event is to show that the world is able to work together to tackle the crucial challenge of runaway climate change. This is where I want to chime in. You see, the UNFCCC claims to have near universal membership, with 197 countries participating each year. However, and we've heard this story before, Taiwan is not included on this list, nor has it ever been invited to take part in this conference. To me, this is a huge problem, especially at times like these, when it's quite evident that the climate crisis we're all facing is getting worse every single year. Around the world, storms are intensifying, catastrophic flooding is becoming more frequent, and wildfires are destroying millions of acres of forests due to severe droughts. This year, Western Canada had the hottest summer on record, which led to massive forest fires, the likes of which we had never seen before. It got so bad that the government had to deploy hundreds of Canadian Armed Forces personnel and aircraft to assist the firefighters during this year's wildfire season. Similarly, Taiwan experienced one of the worst droughts on record, with many of the water reservoirs here coming close to drying up completely. There were similar situations in the United States, Italy, and even in the UK. My point is, climate change isn't a regional problem, it's a global problem. And global problems on this scale will require international solutions and collaborations between nations. This is why it's crucial that Taiwan be allowed access to international events about climate change in order for it to be better prepared for climate catastrophes like this in the future. And likewise, the world would benefit from Taiwan's cutting-edge science, research, and resources. Luckily, it seems that year by year, countries are starting to realize the important contributions Taiwan could make on a global scale. And it all starts with Taiwan being included in international events like the COP26. Just this year, 102 bipartisan members from the House of Commons and the Senate of Canada signed letters delivered to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, calling on the Canadian government to support Taiwan and strengthen exchanges between the two nations. The letter requested the Canadian government to support Taiwan's accession to the World Health Organization, the WHO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, and the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. The letter stressed that with regards to Taiwan, Canada could learn from Taiwan's epidemic prevention experience, Taiwan's resistance of Chinese aggression, and it would enjoy mutual cooperation between Taiwan and Canada in many fields. The letter also pointed out that Taiwan is Canada's natural trading partner in the Asia-Pacific region, stating that Taiwan's adherence to democratic principles, the rule of law, and human rights all align closely with Canada's own position on these matters. The letter finished by stating that support for Taiwan's involvement and meaningful participation in such multilateral initiatives is ultimately to the benefit of the entire international community. It is heartening to see this, and indeed, in recent years, many politicians in Canada have begun to publicly show their support for Taiwan, including Conservative MP Michael Cooper and his Canada-Taiwan Relations Framework Act. It does seem to be becoming more and more acceptable internationally for countries and political leaders to show their support for Taiwan. And we can only hope that as time goes on, Taiwan will receive more and more support at an international level. If the UNFCCC really does want to make a difference and meet climate goals such as securing global net zero carbon emissions by mid-century and keep 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming within reach, then a competent, democratic, economically significant nation like Taiwan cannot be left out of this conversation. It might be too late for Taiwan to participate this year at COP26 in Glasgow, but we can only hope that in the future, perhaps even next year, Taiwan will receive the invitation it so sorely deserves. So let's spread this message and let's do what we can to make sure that Taiwan is able to take its place on the international stage with no more interruptions from China or any other country for that matter. Thank you for listening, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends. Let's help spread the word, spread the message that Taiwan is ready and willing to help. See you later.